In today's video, we're going to put the best definition of love to the test. We're going to strip out one or more of the 6 elements and see what happens. Stick around. You'll be surprised by the divine answers. Hi, I'm Chip from Divine Answers. I would love it if you would join me in putting the definition to the test by commenting below on any insights you may have. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the button on the screen or down below. This video is one in a series of videos entitled, What is the Best Definition of Love? If you've not watched the revised version of the main video titled, What is the Best Definition of Love? I encourage you to go back and watch it, as it will lay the foundation for this video. So, the definition is, love is wanting, learning, and doing what is best for the other person at all times. So let's see what taking out parts of the definition does to love. First, let's take out the other person. There are only 2 people in this scenario, me and the other person. So if I'm doing what I think is best for me, then the other person no longer is someone to love, but becomes something to use for my own selfish wants and needs. This destroys love. Using another person is an opposite of love. So that element has to be in there. Moving on. What if we remove the element at all times? There are many times I fall short of wanting, learning, and doing what is best for the people in my life, and for those times, that's when I have to humble myself and ask for their forgiveness. But what if I did this on purpose, as a way of life? Sometimes I put the other person first, and sometimes myself. This is not quite as bad as always putting myself first, but I'd still be using the other person. My love is reduced to a mere transaction or an exchange of goods. I'll scratch your back if you scratch mine. That is fine when negotiating a deal or even something as grand as a peace treaty. But here we're talking about wanting, learning, and doing what is best for the other person. I'm talking about someone I am in a relationship with. It's just me and the other person. The sad reality is that if I lived my life this way, the bad habits would become deeply ingrained in me. And those habits would end up tainting all my relationships. Even my wife and my children would be affected because those bad habits have become a part of who I've chosen to be. That would not be good. So let's move on to the wanting part of the definition. If I say I want what is best for the other person without really meaning it, I'll simply go through the motions of learning and doing, and when it gets too tough, I'll just quit. This is because the underlying motivation won't be there. Or worse, I pretend to want what is best for the other person when I really have my own self-centered agenda. Maybe you have experienced this. Has someone ever said to you, I did this for you, or I thought that's what you wanted, when what was done actually hurt you, and you know what was said was a lie. The only person to benefit was the one pretending to want what is best for you. So, let's move on to removing the learning element. I truly want what is best for the other person, and based on that, I want to take action. How can I be reasonably sure that the thing I do is the best thing? I can't. I can make assumptions about what is best, but the actions I've taken based on those assumptions can be incredibly harmful for those I want to help. Just a small example of this. What if I gave a car to someone I want to help who can't afford to buy a car? On the surface, it seems like a wonderful loving act, and the person receiving the car is very excited. But I didn't take the time to learn that the person doesn't have a driver's license, or they can't afford insurance, or gas or maintenance. So my gift becomes an extreme burden for the other person because I did not take the time to learn what was best. What if we take out the doing and leave the wanting and learning? I want what is best. I've taken the time to learn what is best. Then I do nothing. It is nothing but a useless idea in my head, which helps no one. Or maybe I think if I mention it to someone else, they will take action. I've actually done that. Now, what if we ignore the wanting and learning and say love is doing what is best for the other person at all times? This sounds really good. And it actually works. If you're God. God is love. And He created us out of love. So it can definitely be said that He wants what is best for us. It can also be said that He doesn't need to learn what is best for us because He's the one who created us in the first place and He knows us perfectly. So let's say that what I just said is a good definition of love when we talk about God. Can we gain some insights into the truth that God is love? Let's try substituting the word love in the definition with God and see if we lose any meaning. So, God is doing what is best for us at all times. We don't lose anything. In fact, we can gain a deeper understanding of God. When we use God in place of the word love, we understand that love, being the defining attribute of God, is personal and intimate. God is personal and intimate without diminishing in the smallest way His majestic presence. So this modification of the definition applies to God. But what about us? Jesus, in His perfect human nature, wanted what was best, but even He still had to learn what was best. We see this is true in the story about Mary and Joseph losing track of Jesus, and they had to look for Him for 3 days. The young Jesus had not yet learned what was best for His parents. He didn't understand that staying behind in the temple without telling mom and dad would cause his father and mother great anxiety. So the modified version of the definition, love is doing what is best for the other person at all times, only applies to God and not us. I think we know that from our own experience. Switching gears now, one of the things that I love so much about this definition is that it is so practical. Each one of us can apply this definition of love to virtually every situation and ask questions like, is what I want to do for this person the loving thing to do? Or, what does the definition tell me about this person? Am I being loved or am I being used? We can use this definition to test ourselves and recognize where we fall short and can do better, but also realize we are worthy of another person's sincere effort to learn how to love us. When you see your great worth, which ultimately comes from God, then you begin to grasp that you deserve to be loved. This definition is the highest standard of human love, and for the overwhelming vast majority of us, it is impossible for us to attain this level of perfection. But at this point, I want to say, don't be afraid of what love demands. There are so many who have overcome their shortcomings and loved in amazing ways. The best example I can think of is Saint Teresa of Calcutta, more well known as Mother Teresa. She dedicated her life to serving the poorest of the poor. She wanted, learned, and did what was best for the other person at all times. But the only way she could do it was with a tremendous amount of help from God. We can't do this on our own. Each one of us has the capacity for great love, even a perfect love. And we have a God who deeply desires to help us to learn to love perfectly. So please, no matter where you are in your faith journey, ask God for His help to love better. You won't be disappointed. Thank you, and may God bless you. I provided a link to all the videos in this series, as well as a link to the one I mentioned in this video. I would love to hear your insights, so please leave your comments below. I respond to each comment personally. And if you haven't hit the subscribe button to keep up with the newest videos, now is the time. Thank you and have a blessed day.